The school belonged to a very old, rich man there, Kodiat school. And the Kodiat has got a son, Padmanabh Pulla. He doesn't like putting Pilla or anything like that. He, before 20 years, he went to see the Nataraja Guru. That is, when I was small only, and 20 years before he has gone to see Nataraja Guru at Uti and became his disciple. But he didn't tell anybody that he is a disciple of Nataraja Guru. And after 10 years probably, my Swaminan came to know about Padmanabh Pulle, and when he reached his house, he saw Nataraja Guru's photo in his room. Then he asked how and like that. Then only he came to know about that, and he was wondering how he became his disciple like that. Because at that time, Anand don't know Nataraja Guru. Because he has said, he has got a photo of Nataraja Guru at the age of 7, and he was holding it in his hand always to find out who is he. But he couldn't. After hearing that he knows, his friend knows, it was a wonder for him actually. So he thought he can find out him like that. That is an incidental story in that. And in that, from the school, I finished that school because I wanted to go to girls' school, government girls' school. So we changed the house, and father's school is adjacent to it. All of us shifted to this second school. I lost all my friends. I don't have any friends. Only one girl who was staying near our house was in the school. So I wanted that girl to be in my class. And I was crying like that. So the teacher has to transfer one girl of my name to another division and put this girl to my division like that. Changed. So I was happy like that. And then afterwards, I found that I found it very difficult to go to the school because no friends I had. And Samyana used to take me to the school and then leave me there, and he will go. To him, I will not say anything, but on the way I used to see the ant and the flowers and the small things on the road like that, and slowly only I will walk. Sometimes Akachi will take me, but when she goes back to her school, I will also run with her. I don't want to remain in it. And the teachers has to pick me from the road like that. Then I found another reason. Oh, I don't want to go to school. I will say I want to pass the stool, and so I come back. So I will come back again. I alone come back to the house, and I said I want to pass school and I don't want to go. 2 or 3 days, my mother said, okay, you remain there. Then this is a custom for me to escape. So she gave me some, sent to the servant back. Afterwards I didn't come. So I was studying in the school like that. And that was my second till fourth study. I was very lazy to study. But at night, evening, we all together, this is the round table we are using, that round table. We were using for studying, and four will be sitting around, and my father will be there, and mother will be there, like that. So some evening we will be having some prayers, and then start to study. I also have my lesson with me. I don't know what I am studying, but it is still there. And their brother and sister, they will be studying. And the second brother, he had his own work. He won't study. He keep all these things under the table and do some sketching or something like that. He will find out, and will do it. And Samyanan knows what he is doing. Sometimes he became naughty, and then he wanted to, instead of telling my father that he is doing this, he will put a book in his front of him in the reverse direction. So when you put it, he will read something, and if my father sees, then he will find out like that. Sometimes my sister will turn it down to protect him. So that type of thing was going on. It was during this time that father read Light of Asia, Buddhist story, and after finishing that, I mean, asked my mother whether Amma, can I become Buddha? She said, of course you can. Okay, then father was a little skeptical when mother said like that. And next day, what happened? She said, okay, you get up at 4 o'clock. I got up. Why? No, you want to become Buddha? Come, I will give you cold water for this thing, bath. Gave cold bath, and then he was given different type of food, vegetarian and with a leaf. And noon, everybody was sitting in the dining table, taking fish and or meat or something, but he is not given anything. Why this is you have to become Buddha. So he didn't say, he couldn't say anything. He behaved like that Buddha. I like that. So that was the first thing. This is because in the horoscope, my mother knows that he will become a sannyasi because he wanted him to become a sannyasi. Yeah, he dedicated him to Guru Narayana Guru. So she was expecting him to go like that. So each step she watches, he is in that line. So like that, he is expecting, and then it was like that during that much I remember. Then after 4 years, I think, by the time he finished his school final, I came to the English school. Then my father was teaching. So I became all right at that time. And this elder brother left the school. So he wanted to go to college. But my father said, no, I cannot send you to college because I have got 3 other children. I will teach you up to this 10th standard. Then you find your own way of living like that. Like that he said. He was little stern at that time. So he couldn't say anything. Then he said, then what I should do? Then he said, thought. Then my mother said, you go to learn typing. That is another thing at that time. Typing and keeping that going on with Rajamekashi's house. So that is how they became familiar. My mother, grandfather, and what else. The other cousin who was with us in the Kotarikara, he also went with him. They were studying together for 2 years like that. Afterwards he came. Then he said, what I should do? If this I cannot get a job, I should start an institute to teach. So somebody offered a typewriter to him in very bad condition, it just be fitted and like that. Some few rupees to be paid, and he got it. Then another friend of him found out a shop for him, and they started an institute. For 2 years, he was teaching this typewriting, and the first batch of students had their examination, and that is over. Then he applied for a job. He couldn't get. Then he said to my to his my father's nephew. He was in Nilgiris in the estate. Find out a job for him. He said, "Okay, I will find out." He was trying to find out a job for him, but unfortunately, he couldn't reach there in time, and he missed that. So one day, while he was traveling, he was so much hungry. He wanted a breakfast. He couldn't. So somebody said, "There is a gate there, a door there. If you go there, you will get breakfast." So he didn't know what to do. Anyhow, I wanted breakfast. So he said, "I will go and find out." Somebody received him to give breakfast. After taking breakfast, they gave him a paper to sign. What is this? And here I had to sign. After signing, he was immediately taken away inside. That was the military selection. That is how he got into the military, Air Force. And he was there for 6 months like that, training, intense training. He was a vegetarian at that time, but he has to eat meat because the same spoon they are using in the dishes. So like that. And finally, he got out of some officers, Malayalis, and said that somehow I want to go out like that. So they showed pity on him and okay, we'll do one thing. You act like a deaf man because of the medical examination. You have to act. So they put more sound in his ear and see whether he can hear. He can't hear anything like that. Finally, they made him unfit because hearing defect, he cannot be in the Air Force. So they put him in a clerical office and transferred him to a different place. So he said, which bus you want to go, which station you want to go? He said, Punalur. Punalur, okay. When they looked at him, they saw one train is coming. It was only Pune, not Punalur. Oh, he got inside. Oh, it is the same, maybe. Finally, he got in Pune. Pune, then he said, it is different. Oh, my cousin is here. I will find out. The same cousin was with him. He was also in the military clerical. So they reached, found out. Then both of them were trying to make him escape from that area. And then he said, he was a little tricky and elder to him. He said, okay, you go. I will find out. I will make a trick and you escape. So in the post office, Malayalis were there. Whatever warrant comes, they won't post. So finally, 6 months over, he is rejected. And that. In the meanwhile, what happened? My father said he has gone in search of job, but my cousin said he has not reached there. So my father was very sad. Where he has gone, no letter, nothing. He has not reached there like that. So every day he goes to post office, he couldn't get. So he was thoroughly heart shaken, depressed. My mother also is depressed. And we can see from their face what is happening. We were children. Then he said, okay, then what to do? Finally, a letter came. it was under review that something it is written when he can't read, and that he is coming back. By the time he came back, he found that I was lying in bed. For 3 months, I was having typhoid. So almost I was dying. At that time, there was no treatment for typhoid. So my mother was crying, and my mother said, "Okay, we will call my friend's grandfather. He was a doctor, going on, and see whether the proper treatment is proper." So he came there, saw me, and said, "There is no treatment, only nursing care, and that she is getting. So you continue like this." In the meanwhile, Samanan was there with me. I had some swelling in the parotid, and some medicine was put. It was extremely painful. He was trying to remove that with cotton wool. So he was by the bed always. Without paining, he was trying to remove it. Then, so seeing that this big grandfather said, "Okay, I will find a job for him at Shivagiri. There is a vacancy. You after this you come there." So when I became all right, he went to Shivagiri. Shivagiri, there are some Mangalanasami and Jayanasami. They were nice people. So they accepted him, and he was there. That is how he went to Shivagiri. Otherwise, he didn't know anything about Shivagiri or Narayana Guru. He didn't know. Then he was staying there. And at that time, the Guru Shivagiri magazine was there. It was run by Mangalanasami, and he was helping me. Then finally, he was there. Then what to do? Okay. One day he was waiting, sleeping on the top of the hill where Samadhi was there. One lady came. Lady came in search of food. One foreign lady. They went to the office, and from the office they sent her here. And then he asked what you want. No, I want, you are such and such a person. Yes. Can you come with me where to an ashram here? There is a outer side on the maze. He wanted somebody to type his note. Then he said, "Let me come and see him." Before that, he said, in the railway station, he was looking for books, and he saw one book which he liked, and he was reading it. And one lady, seeing this, bought this book for him. She paid it, and she said, "I have paid it for you. You can take it." Oh, so you are searching for God. Okay, that means you are searching for a guru, and she gave the address of Dr. Mees. You go to Arkela and find out this guru. The same one is in this one who came in search of him. So he understood. This is what she meant. Okay, I will come. So he went there to see Dr. Mees. He liked him. He also liked. And then what he should do, they discussed. And he knows typing and bookkeeping and other those things. Office matters he knows. So the Mees was happy with him. Every day he has to type 20 pages. That he has done. And there is nobody in the ashram, only the driver. Like that, he completed his work. Then Mees wanted to go to Europe to see his parents. Then he wanted to find out whether he can remain here in this. So he asked him. So actually he was thinking of keeping him as the descendant there. But Annan was not for that. He wanted to loiter. So He said, no, I cannot remain. Okay, you tell me tomorrow evening at 5 o'clock whether you want to remain here or not. If you don't want to remain here, you quit this place immediately. Okay. So actually, he was thinking of keeping him as the descendant there. But Annan was not for that. He wanted to loiter. So he said, no, I cannot remain. Okay, you tell me tomorrow evening at 5 o'clock whether you want to remain here or not. If you don't want to remain here, you quit this place immediately. Okay. So he was a little annoyed by the behavior he's. Next day, 5 o'clock, the 5 o'clock morning or evening, I don't remember. Anyhow, Miss came. Okay, you come with me. Enter the car. He entered the car. He didn't even take chappals, no money with him, nothing. Okay, you go there from here for 3 days and go to Kanyakumari and come after 3 days here exactly at the same time. And it is in Trivandrum at that time from there leaving. And I will take you. So he said, okay, I don't have any money anyhow. And I should not ask anybody any money to eat or drink or something like that. So he was walking. One driver came, one lorry driver came. You want to go to Kanyakumari? Get in. So he got in. He to get to Kanyakumari. After reaching there, one man said, have you had your supper? No. Then you come with me. We have prepared some meals for a big person and he is not coming. So you come and eat. You stay there. So that night he had supper and the stay also is free. Next morning he took his bath in this thing. Then he saw somebody whom he knows, his sir or somebody who was there with the car. Then he said, okay. Then he asked, are you coming? Or, I am going. Okay, I will come. Like that he got into the car. And next day, on the way actually on going, he was feeling hungry, but from food to how to get food, I should not ask. Anyhow, he thought, I will get into a house and see how it is. He entered the courtyard. Then a lady came, and seeing him, she went inside, took the mat there, put it in the veranda, and they leave there to eat him food. She was not saying anything. She is doing everything like. So he was also happy, like that. So things were going on. Then he came back. Then returning, the other professor, he was his professor before. They came back to Trivandrum. Trivandrum at 5 o'clock, what happened? Miss came immediately to take him back. And he was also satisfied. Oh, he said, okay, now you can look after yourself. I am happy, so I am going. If you don't want to remain here, you need not remain here like that. He went away. And he also went away, came back. That was his another thing. Anyhow, he got a good training for writing and editing and other things with me's. And he accepted him as his guru because he is the disciple of Ramana Maharshi. That is how he wanted to become a disciple of Ramana Maharshi. That was his story, that part, which I could remember. Then what is the other one? I don't remember. Anyhow, Then on the way, he was looking after the books, he will see books. And somebody was watching him, one father. The father came to him and said, Why you are looking at me? Father said, no, I just then don't take me. I will not convert. He said, Christian father. I know I don't want you to be converted. You come with me. Are you studying or what is the qualification or the thing? Then he said, I am a school trainer. You don't want to study. I want to study, but I cannot. Then you come with me. Have you got your certificate? Everything is with me. So he took him to Malway Christian College. And first he took him to his house. His father and wife was there. He gave only tea, and afterwards he went to sleep. Next day they were going to the college, and the father went and talked to the principal about him, and they were willing to take him to give him free education actually. Like that, he became a student at the Christian college, and their father was his actually guardian, local guardian. And finally, what happened? In the second year, there was some controversy between the government and the students. In the pre-degree, they wanted card system. That means only for those subjects they fail, they need write, not the whole thing. Previously, it was not like that. So he was also one among them to fight. So he couldn't write the exam, but the part system was granted. So he lost 1 year. So he thought, okay, I will do one thing. I will take honors, 3 years course instead of MA. So I can save 1 year. So he took philosophy and went to University College and wanted take honors. And there the teachers were very good to him. Because of his, he partly changed his clothing, and they were philosophy he was taking. So they all done, none of them liked them. And in the final year, he said he got the first rank and a medal and from the college, the good conduct medal from the principal like that. And I was in the medical college at that time, so he came to me with that medal, saying I got a medal and then this is for you. I was thinking, why should I have the medal? That is good conduct. What is the conduct I have? So I couldn't even touch it. So it fell down. But finally I took it and then I gave it to my sister. That medal. So that was the story about his this thing. And one thing, he was, even though he wanted to become a sannyasi and go from the house, he had to make a promise to my father. Before I went to medical college, the medical college was started, just going to start. So we visited Rajamagachi's house before going there, my whole family with father. Then on the way, one of my classmates, I said, we will go to her house like that. It was it was a lake actually. We had to cross it. Then somebody said, no, she is not there. She is going to find out admission for medical college. What? She is going for medical college, but she didn't tell me anything. So I was a little annoyed that she didn't tell me. With that feeling, we went to that house. And my brother-in-law told me, Kachi's husband told me, Sumangala should apply for medicine because the college is coming. She will get admission. Then father said, how can I send her? I will retire next 1 year. And then who will look after her studies? She has to study for another 4 years now. Then I didn't say anything. Next day again, he was telling, it is the same thing. So we didn't stay there actually. Next day we left. because Samanan went to Trivandrum to get married, get application form for me. And by the time he came back, you hear everything changed. Because I am not going. Because such a father said, no, we cannot. So everybody was unhappy. I too was unhappy. Then Samanan said, okay, Acha, I will look after her studies after I finish only 1 year. And next year, I will, by the time you retire, I will take a job and I will finish her studies. Father said, by third year I will be dying. Again, if she has to study for 2 years, then he said, I will take a job and then make her study. He promised. On his words, father agreed and I applied. I got admission. So that is how he was responsible for my education at that time. And he couldn't find a scholarship or anything for that, for his study, and that was taken by the Jonathan. But later, Jonathan said, you will get a scholarship because you were in the military. So I will try to get a scholarship for you, ex-serviceman. And he got a scholarship for him. So when he went to medical university college, he was on that scholarship. He could support himself. And as soon as he passed, he got the job in SN College, and he started supporting me. The meanwhile, my sister also got a job, and he was supporting my younger brother, and also he made some posts for the younger brother for the job. She was doing like that. She was not married at all. So it was going on like that, and I joined the medical college. The third year, second year, my second brother got married. Okay. He had a small job in the agriculture department. He was happy. And the girl was nice, and they were happy. He was staying in the girl's house actually. So in our house, Achan retired, and Swamianan is in the SN college working, and the sister got a job near our house, and they were there, and I was in Trivandrum studying medicine. So like that, it was going on for 2 years. Then my sister, my brother got a letter from my sister that she wanted to get married because father is sick and the marriage has to be conducted earlier. So actually it was a cousin of my sister-in-law. He is going to marry. So there was no problem actually. So he was in the Vivekananda college. Guru was in the Vivekananda college in Madras. So he came there to conduct the marriage. But then somehow the bridegroom's parents wanted to postpone it for another week. And he was not happy because of my father's ill health. But they had to do it. And during that time, I had my exam next week, but I went for the marriage. And Nadraj Guru came for the marriage to conduct. And so the marriage was conducted on a Vishu day, April 14, at 1 o'clock. And everybody came and they finished and they said goodbye to father, and all went. And this bride's party also went back afterwards. And evening, everything was okay. And some relatives were there, my brothers were there, I was also there. And next day, my father said, he was writing a book on Narayana Guru's life. stored in Kavita. Please read it to Nataraja Guru and tell him to write a forward. So morning when he came, I read it for Nataraja Guru and he heard it. My father also heard it. Then he wrote 2 or 3 sentences about it and I read it to father. Afterwards, myself and Samyanan took him to the road to take the bus and afterwards we come back. When I come back, my father was sitting in a standing position and no movement. So immediately I called mother. Mother, come and tell me, make him lie down. He's not in a good position. No, he was lying. He made him lie. Then he had some cough. My second brother went and bought some cough syrup from the dispensary of my grandfather and they gave him. Afterwards, I felt so sleepy and I was lying in the other bed and he was in the other bed. And my Samyanan and mother and other younger brothers were sitting, other brothers were sitting near me. Suddenly, my mother, after 15 minutes, my mother was saying, that is the second breathing. So I got up. Third breathing is the last. So this is the second, she says. So I got up and I heard the last breath. The thing's finished. Like that. That was on a Good Friday. That is during the prayer. It was like, so that was the case and nobody cried actually because he said don't cry because all these years that father was suffering, now he is safe, so don't cry like that. Then all the relatives were there, no problem. In evening, my sister was brought at night, the burial was done. I couldn't control myself later on because of the death of my father. And I couldn't go and write the exam well because I cannot read anything. I went and wrote, but during the oral, I cannot open my mouth. And professor was so unhappy about me. Why you can't say like that? If I had at least opened my mouth and said my father died, they would have made me pass. I couldn't. So that is the end of that chapter. The second chapter, issue soon after passing, we were selected, some of us were selected for the tutor's job in the college. Instead of house residency, it is considered as house residency. So there is a saving for 1 year. So I joined the pathology department, and as soon as I got the order, I wrote a letter to Samyanan. I am in the medical college tutor, and I want to inform you about that. So he came there to say goodbye and said, now my job is over, so I am going to Himalaya. And he left the place. That again gave me again a shock that he is going away. Then who is there to look after me? Like that.
When did you travel with him?
That is after marriage only. After marriage, after children, after the 3 children. I was in the medical college, I became professor at that time. Then I got an opportunity to go to States, an exchange program in UK, Manchester University. So I accepted. because I won't get always the opportunity. My mother said, I will see, because look after the children, you go. My husband was little unhappy because the children were too young to be left. But my mother assured, no problem, I will look after, like that. And then like that I went, and I went to Manchester, and everything was there, prepared, and they gave me accommodation, food accommodation, everything, and nice place to work, like that. Then one day, before I went, I told him that I will be going to UK. Nadraja also came to the house at that time. Then where are you going? I said Manchester. Manchester is a very cloudy, dark area. It is a punishment for you, he said. Okay, anyhow, I am not going to leave it, I thought. And I went. And later, uh, one day, it was, I think, January. September, there is a leave for 1 month, we can take. Then I got a letter. But I told Samyanan, if you go to America, please inform me. I will be there. I will be in UK. So as soon as he left for America, he sent me a letter that now I am in Los Angeles. If you want to come, you come. Yes, that is a rare opportunity again. Then on the way, I was looking at the letter, and one lady asked me, why you are so happy? I said, I got a letter like this. What shall I do? You should go definitely. I will make you all the arrangement for you to go. You go to such and such a place at the agent, and they will tell you what to do and other things. Immediately she made arrangement. And I made arrangement with the professor to get me leave. Okay. So I went to the agent, everything is booked, and I sent a telegram to Los Angeles. From London only I have to go. This is from Manchester. So from London airport I sent the telegram. I thought he will get it. My secretary said, it is a frightening airport. You are going alone? I said, okay, I am going alone. In the telegram, it was a 14 hours non-stop flight. I was there. Then I reached Los Angeles. I was thinking, the lady said like that, this is a frightening airport. Suppose nobody is there, what shall we do? But I was not afraid at that time. Then I got out of the airport. The Guru was there to take me. So I reached there safely. And the second day, I said, I want to see this നമ്മുടെ ആ സ്ഥലത്തിൻ്റെ പേരെന്താ ദാറ്റ് വണ്ടർലാൻഡിൻ്റെ പേര് Disneyland. I want to see Disneyland. He said, how can we go? Somebody has to take us. As soon as he said like that, one boy came with car. He was coming to take us somewhere. I said, we have to go there. Okay. Like that, he took us to Disneyland the whole day. And that was a strange thing, and it was an experience. That was the thing which we had to write again. It is in detail. That is one thing. Then I contacted my friends, classmates there in different places. Chicago, New York, Buffalo, and then somewhere else also. And in company, then this Vajatan also was there, cardiologist. So I contacted all of them and fixed a date, flight also, different flights. And I went there. We went together in most of the places. And when each place there was a meeting at that time, interview and arranged. And finally, one month actually spent in visiting and hearing his lectures like that. I came back. And finally my friend said, I will take you to Buffalo, the Niagara Falls, to Niagara. Okay. Finally I saw the Niagara Falls and then came back to Manchester. But this 1 month too made a change. Till then I was not in the acne world. I was in the worldly work, my immersed in work. But this 1 month I was with him, then I saw how much he was respected, how much he knows. But I never realized that he knows this much and he is such a big person like that. So I wanted to be with him actually. But how can I be? I got 3 children like that. They are very young and husband. So it was haunting me exactly. I want a guru like that. But who is the guru? He cannot be, he is not guru at that time. Then I thought, okay, I shall meditate. That is the only thing I can do. 3 o'clock morning, I got up and started meditating. I don't know meditation, but simply I said, and meditate. Then I got a vision of my old grandfather, not grandfather, my father's brother. He was a tantri. I saw him in the dream. Dream like this, a hallucination like that. Then I was agitated actually to see God and or Guru like that. Then he said, you cannot do like that. You have to find out who you are. Find out who you are and do your duty to each. You are a wife, you are a mother, you are a doctor, you are a professor, you are somebody like that. Have you finished all the jobs? Children I didn't finish. Then jobs are there, I have to finish. And husband is there, I have to finish my job to him. Like that. He made me think that I should finish all these jobs, then only look for a guru like that. Okay, I realized what he said is. So that agitation was subsided. Then I started my normal life. Then I came back. Then he also came there. He was having pneumonia. I treated him for 3 days. Then he went to London. And afterwards I said I will also come after 1 month to Europe where you are there. So he was with the Dewards family and I went there. We stayed there for a week. And then he sent me back to Delhi. My husband came there to collect me and then I came back. So that was my London trip. It was nice.
Then how did you get sannyasa from him, Mama?
No, at that time I couldn't get sannyasa because I had to finish my job. My duty is still there as a worldly thing. I have to finish, otherwise I cannot. So afterwards, this was in 1970. Then 1980 he came to Dubai. Then I thought, in the meanwhile, I was from 75 to 80 in Dubai, I was alone. And I was reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, side by side. Several times I read Bhagavatam, several times I read Bhagavad Gita. Narayana Guru's only certain slogas I know, not the other. Study I didn't do. Like that I was doing, and then he came there for a visit. Then in a party we met. I said, tomorrow again it is Vishu day. Tomorrow I am going to be your disciple. He said like that. Okay. Actually, instead of telling disciple, I said I am going to be your guru. Then he said, okay, guru and disciple said like that. He corrected. Next day he said he was in my flat. Then nobody was there at that time. Then he said, okay, this is the first time I will initiate you. Then he gave me the mantra and the Gayatri and the meditation procedure and everything he gave. And afterwards he started chanting Bhagavad Gita for me with the Swatyaya actually. And that was the tape which I brought you. That half the 10 tapes he finished. He said 10 tapes I will send to you from States after I go there. And he sent it through somebody in English. This was in Malayalam, that was in English. Like that. Then that initiation was there. That was in 1980. Then, 81, my husband died. So I was not so much annoyed because I know there is something going to happen before that. And I was strong because of this initiation. I was so much strong. I looked after him very well. I didn't cry after he died, and I had to look after my children because none of them have finished their exam. They have not married, and I have to finish some business dealings there. All these I had to do alone. Nobody there to support. Only Jain is there, and he is a student also. So like that, I have to finish one by one. Till I finish their studies, their marriage, till they settled. And then mother is there. When mother also is there, I cannot do sannyasa. So afterwards, mother became sick. I came there to see her, and I was with her for some time. Then she died. She died afterwards. And the temple was also made after 1 year. Then I thought, okay, now mother died. Now there is nobody for me to look after. I can divide the property to my children and take up sannyas. So I made a deal, calling all of them. This is such and such and thing, and I will give you. And the next year, I went for the second November birthday. I had an operation fixed on first. I said I am not coming because I have an operation. But I didn't do that operation. I went there. Second I was there. Then he said, you came here. I thought you were in the operation theatre. No, I said, it is postponed to 18. Okay. And second I said, okay, I wanted to give the dakshina to him for his birthday. From the bag I took and gave him. Then I said, there is a sari, some kavi sari with me. Now I give this sari to you. You give me that sari. That is the initiation I thought. And then he said there is somebody else taking sannyasa, that's called. And there is this thing, karma also. I will give you at that time. And he gave me that time. This, but then Jyotish told me, you remove your silk sari and wear this. I said, okay. I removed the silk sari and wore that kavi sari. As soon as I put the kavi sari on me, some vibration going on in me, some change which I never expected before. So something happened like that. And then I came back to the ground and gave donations to my elders, my sister, the other elders, Guru, everybody. Then Amma, and this thing, like that. Then only I informed the Meera and so that I have taken sannyasa. So they were surprised actually. I thought I don't have anything to do with them now. It's all over. Even now I feel like that only because there is nothing, no dealings with them now. And I don't have any desire actually. No desire. No, what do you call, what do you call?
Attraction.
Attachment. No hope, nothing like that, nothing to worry. Mind is like that actually. One day Muni Prasad came there to Dubai and asked him, what is moksha? He said, it is only freedom. Freedom of everything. Okay. Last 4 months before, I told Prasad Swami, I don't have any desire, no attachment, no nothing. Then you said moksha is freedom. So how can I get moksha? Another he said, now you are free now. That means you got it already. But I am not ready to accept that at that time. Then I said, no. In Christianity, they have got sorghum. It is not moksha. Moksha is beyond that. And this Islam also, they have got sorghum, and they have no rebirth, and they have no moksha. But only thing is in Hinduism only moksha, and there are different ways to get moksha. You tell me one way, one way to get moksha. Then he laughed. I said, you were writing so many books. You write one book for moksha, to get moksha. One method only, one method. He just laughed. I said, if you can't, I will start writing. Like that. Afterwards only, I read some books and found out that Atmadesh Sadhana is the only one who can lead you to moksha. That is why I wrote like that. I found out what is the one way to get. You have to be. I didn't tell them. They tell Swami that I wrote that. I didn't say. Somebody told him that I have written that. Because he didn't tell me. He should have told me because he has already written Atmadesh book. So he should have told me. That is the only thing. He didn't tell me. That is my story.
Wonderful story.